Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. I am Maliha Fatima, physics teacher from DPS Girls Senior Wing Model Town Lahore, and this is lecture number 11 of 9th class physics. Today we will start a new chapter, dynamics. This is chapter number 3 of 9th class physics. In this lecture we will discuss force, inertia, momentum and Newton's first law of motion. Before starting the lecture, let's have a brief review of the previous lectures. In the first chapter we have discussed about mechanics. Mechanics is the branch of physics which deals with the study of motion of the objects, its causes and effects. Mechanics has two types, kinematics and dynamics. According to kinematics, it is the study of motion of the objects without discussing the cause of motion, and it means that in this case, we only discuss the types of motion and the terms associated with motion like speed, velocity, acceleration. As you can see in the picture, we have only shown that the car is moving along the straight line and it covers the distance of 100 meters. On the other hand, dynamics is the study of motion of the objects and the cause of motion. It means that in this chapter we will discuss the cause of motion, that is force, inertia and momentum. As you can see in the picture, a rocket is moving upward. This is only because of the gases are moving in the downward direction, so as a reaction the rocket moves in the upward direction. First of all, we will discuss force. Force moves or tends to move, stops or tends to stop the motion of the body. Force can also change the direction of motion of the body. Furthermore, force can also change the shape or size of a body on which it acts. You can see that the definition has three parts. In first part, force can move or tends to move. It means that sometimes force is able to move the body and sometimes it is unable to move the body. For example, if a boy applies force on a toy car, then he can easily move it. But as you can see in the picture, a boy is applying force on the wall, but he is unable to move that wall. Likewise, according to the second part of the definition, force stops or tends to stop the motion of the body. So here is a goalkeeper who stops the motion of the ball coming towards him by applying the force. But on the other hand, if a person is shoot with the help of the gun, then he will be unable to stop that bullet coming towards him. And in the last part of the definition, force can change the direction of motion of the body. So here in the picture, a batsman changes the direction of the ball coming towards him by applying force with the bat. Unit of force is Newton. 1 Newton is the force that produces an acceleration of 1 meter per second square in a body of mass 1 kilogram. It means that when a force is applied on a body of mass of 1 kilogram and it produces an acceleration of 1 meter per second square in that body, then the force is equal to 1 Newton. So 1 Newton is equal to 1 kilogram meter per second square. The next topic is inertia. According to the definition, inertia of a body is the property due to which it resists any change in its state of rest or of uniform motion. Galileo was the first to observe inertia. According to his observation, it is easier to move or stop the lighter objects, but for heavier objects it is difficult. That is, we can easily change the state of lighter objects, but for heavier objects it is difficult. So from here we come to know that inertia depends on mass of the body. So greater the mass of the body, greater is the inertia, and less the mass of the body, less will be the inertia. So we can say that inertia is directly related with mass of the body. In order to understand inertia, which is the property of the body due to which it resists any change in its state of rest or of uniform motion, the definition of the inertia has two parts. One is its state of rest and other is its is the state of the uniform motion. Now, in order to explain the inertia of rest, we will consider an activity in which we take a glass and cover it with the cardboard, then place a coin on the cardboard. When we flick the cardboard horizontally with the jerk of our finger, then we can see that in the animation that the coin doesn't move with the card, but instead it falls into the glass. This is because of the inertial property of the coin, that it resists any change in its state of rest, and during its resistance time the card moves away. Then, in the absence of the reaction force from the card and under the action of the gravity, the coin falls into the glass. In order to explain the inertia in motion, let's view an animation in which a giraffe is driving a car. But when the car strikes the hurdle and comes to rest, then giraffe feels a forward jerk and his upper part of the body moves forward. This happens because of inertia. Because when car stops suddenly, then the lower part of the giraffe, which is in contact with the car, stops with the car, but his upper part, which is free, it wants to continue its forward motion, due to which the giraffe feels a forward jerk, and he may get injured. That's why we must wear seat belts while driving. In order to learn more about inertia, let's consider the example of a moving bus. When the bus takes a sharp turn, then the passengers fall in the outward direction. This is because of inertia, that they want to continue their motion in the straight line. As you can see in the picture, that the bus was initially moving in the forward direction. But when the driver takes a sharp turn towards right side, then the passenger inside the bus feels a jerk towards the left side because he wants to continue his motion in the forward direction. Likewise, in the video, you can see that when the driver takes a sharp turn towards right side, then he feels jerked towards the left side, and because of not wearing the seat belt, he falls downward. Hence, if the person is sitting on the roof of the bus, then in the absence of the boundary walls on the roof of the bus, there will be danger of falling down while taking a sharp turn. Related to inertia, here is an interesting video in which a boy jumps out of a moving bus, then he falls in the direction of motion of the bus. This is again because of inertial property of the boy, that he wants to continue his forward direction motion. When he jumps out of the moving bus, then the lower part of his body comes in contact with the stationary platform, becomes stationary. But the upper part of the body, which is free, it wants to continue its forward direction motion. So he falls in the direction of motion of the bus. The next topic is momentum. Momentum is a physical quantity which decides how easy or difficult it is to stop a moving body. Here in the picture, you can see that a boy is standing on a track and two things are coming towards him. One is the cycle and other is the truck. Now, it is easier to stop a moving cycle, but it is very difficult to stop a moving truck. Two things are involved in this case. One is the mass and other is the velocity. As we know that mass and velocity of the cycle is very low as compared to that of the truck, so it is easier to stop. Hence, we can define momentum as the quantity of motion a body possesses due to its mass and velocity. Symbolically, momentum is represented by P, and mathematically it is P is equal to mv. As momentum depends upon velocity of the body, so it is a vector quantity, and SI unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second or Newton second. Next topic is Newton's laws of motion. Newton was the first to formulate the laws of motion, which are also known as Newton's laws of motion. Most of us know about the story of Newton. that he was sitting under an apple tree and an apple fell on his head, and from there he started thinking and then formulated the laws of motion. There are three laws of motion, but today we will only discuss Newton's first law of motion. According to Newton's first law of motion, a body continues its state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line provided no net force acts on it. It means that if a body is not acted by any kind of force, then if it is in rest, it will remain in rest. And if it is moving with uniform velocity, then it will continue moving with the uniform velocity in the straight line. First law of motion deals with two different types of bodies. One, the body is at rest and other moving with uniform speed. According to the first part of the definition, the body at rest remains at rest until no net force acts on it. This part of the law is true, as we observe that the objects do not move by themselves unless someone moves them. For example, a book lying on the table remains at rest as long as no net force acts on it. There are two forces acting on the book. One is the weight acting downward and other reaction of the table acting upward. As both these forces are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction, so they cancel their effect with each other, and the net force acting on the book becomes equal to 0. Hence, when no net force acts on the book, so the book remains in rest on the table. According to second part of the definition, a body continues its uniform motion in a straight line provided no net force acts on it. So, a moving body doesn't stop by itself. But in our daily life, we see that the bodies do not move continuously. It means that there is some net force which is against the motion and hence stop the motion of the object. That force is resistive force. That's why the ball rolled on the rough ground stops earlier than that rolled on the smooth ground. It is because the rough surfaces offer greater friction. But if there would be no any force to oppose the motion of a body, then the moving body would never stop. Now, as the Newton's first law of motion, which is defined as a body continues its state of rest or of uniform motion provided no net force acts on it, this statement is very similar to the statement of inertia, which is the property of a body to resist any change in its state of rest or of uniform motion. Because of its similarity with inertial property, Newton's first law of motion is also known as law of inertia. So if you are asked to define law of inertia, then you would have to define Newton's first law of motion. But instead, if you will define inertia in law of inertia, then it will be a wrong answer. In the last of the lecture, there are some related exercise questions which you can easily answer now after learning this lecture. According to the exercise question number 3.2, define the following terms: inertia, momentum, force. And now you can easily answer these definitions. And the question number 3.4, what is the law of inertia? The law of inertia is actually the Newton's first law of motion. So you will define here Newton's first law of motion. Question number 3.5, why is it dangerous to travel on the roof of the bus? And question number 3.6, why does a passenger move outwards when a bus takes a sharp turn? All these questions have been discussed in the lecture, and I hope that now you can easily answer them. So good luck and Allah Hafiz.